Welcome to the educational channel. This is episode 1, grade 12, unit 1. In this episode, we will be tackling setbook questions and vocabulary items. First, make sure that you read all the questions carefully. Remember that the questions are of general nature, so you can use your own background information and the textbook information. Write full, meaningful sentences and provide 2 causes, reasons, or effects according to the question. Pay attention to your handwriting and the spelling. And always revise your answers after you write them down. This unit will be talking about the law. When you hear the word law, a few words might come up your mind, such as justice, crimes, guilty, punishment or penalty, and innocent. Of course, you may think of other words too. Let's look at the word penalty. Penalty is a noun that means a punishment imposed for breaking a law. For example, drivers who do not respect the rules should face a tough penalty. Guilty is an adjective that means responsible for a crime. The man was tried and found guilty of murder. It means he did it. He was responsible. The opposite of guilty is innocent. Innocent describes someone not responsible for a crime. For example, the court found the man innocent and he was released. He didn't do the crime. Let's go back to the word law. What is the law? The law is defined as a set of rules that control a society. It's a group of rules that govern individuals and organizations in a society, so it takes control of the people living in this place. When I say law is defined, define is a verb that means to describe or give a meaning of. For example, it is very difficult to define the concept of beauty. And govern, laws govern the society means control. It's a verb. An example would be, the tribe is governed by a 10-member council. Now, imagine this with me. How do you think life would be without law? Imagine life if you didn't have laws, if you didn't have rules. I think we would be living in chaos. There would be a lot of violence, crime, and murder. People will go around doing bad things, knowing no one will govern them, no one will control them. Now, why do we need laws in a society? There are 4 reasons we need law. First, to protect people's rights. I would like to protect my rights. I would like to feel safe, so it ensures safety. It also ensures justice, and we can live in a tolerant society. Now, violence is a noun. That means a behavior that is intended to hurt other people physically. Example, the city has experienced an increase in violence and crime over the years. Children should not watch films dealing with violence or play video games with violence at all. Now, the law in Kuwait, let's specifically talk about Kuwait. The law in Kuwait is influenced by Islamic values. Let's explain that. How is law in Kuwait influenced by Islamic values? First, Kuwaiti law is drawn from the teachings of the Holy Quran. It ensures a safe, just, and tolerant society according to what the Quran teaches us. And second, Kuwait has a well-structured and clearly defined judiciary. Now, tolerant is an adjective to describe showing willingness to allow existence of others. We accept other opinions. We live with each other peacefully. For example, we must be tolerant to others. If I want to put the answer in a full sentence, Islamic values influence the system of laws in Kuwait. Explain? I would explain it like this. The system of laws in Kuwait is based mainly on the teachings of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now, how do you think people should solve minor issues? If we had a minor issue, It's not very huge, it's a minor, tiny thing that happened. How do you think people should solve them? Now, people should solve issues amicably through peaceful dialogue rather than taking petty cases to the court. They should solve them in a friendly manner, in a peaceful manner. Petty means of little importance, not important that much, very little importance. For example, petty cases should not be taken to the court. Now, a case is a legal action. Here, it means a legal action. For example, the judiciary will present the case in a few months. Now, pay attention here. Case also could mean a flat rectangular container, like this bag you see in the picture. The man has all the important papers in his case. What is the importance of laws and human values? Now here, we're not only addressing the law, also the human values, the values you have as a human being. It reduces violence. We can avoid problems. It helps us to live in peace with everyone, avoiding problems again, living peacefully, and protecting properties. I would want my house to be protected, don't you? Now, there are 3 types of law you should know about. First, there's something called criminal law. Criminal law deals with murder and theft. Then we have the family law that deals with family affairs such as marriage or children. And then we have the civil law. It's the problem between neighbors and the property, the problem inside the society. Property means something valuable that belongs to someone. My father owns a large property in the city. Jury. Jury are a group of often 12 ordinary people who listen to the details of a case and decide if someone is guilty or not. Usually we see them in movies. Example, 6 of the jury members who attend the case in the court are women. Now, a difference between a judge and a jury. A judge is the one with the gavel, and a jury are the group of people deciding if someone is guilty or not. Now, look at the picture. You've seen this before. Handcuffs. Handcuffs is a noun. It's a pair of metal rings joined by a chain used to hold your wrist together or a prisoner's wrist together. Example, the police uses handcuffs to arrest the suspect. Consultation. Consultation is a noun, meaning getting advice from a professional person. The client spent hours in consultation with his lawyers. Now, who makes the law? Have you ever wondered who puts the law? The government. So the government imposes the law. Who makes sure it is followed? The police and the judges. So they enforce the law. Enforce means to put into practice, to carry out. For example, the role of the police is to enforce the law. And impose means introducing something new, such as a new law or a new system. Example, we must impose some kind of order on the way this office is run. Now, the basic principle of most systems of law. What is it? What is the basic principle of the most systems of law? A person is innocent until proven guilty. So we have to find evidence that this person is guilty. Other than that, they're innocent. Prove. Prove is a verb. It means to show that something is true by providing facts. Example, can the lawyer prove that his client is innocent? What measures should be taken against motorists who break speed limits? So when you get your license and you break the speed limits, what measures should be taken? I hope you don't though. They should be taken to jail. Their license should be taken away. They should pay fines regardless the speed. As long as they broke it, they pay fines. Legal is an adjective. It means appointed or required by the law. Example, what I did was perfectly legal. I didn't break the rules. Speed limit means the fastest speed allowed by law on a road. For example, it is a traffic law that drivers should keep to the speed limit. Pay attention to speed limits. Let's take some more new words. Persuasion. Persuasion is a noun that means a belief or a set of beliefs. For example, people of all religious persuasions are against violence and racism. Welfare. Welfare is a noun that means the health, happiness, and fortunes of a person or group. Example, our only concern is the children's welfare, their health, happiness. Bench. Bench is the long seat you see here in the picture. It's a seat for several people. We were sitting on the park bench when it started to rain. Or it's a seat in Parliament that politicians sit on. For example, members of the British Parliament sit on opposing benches. Or bench could mean the office of the judge or magistrate. For example, the lawyer should address his remarks to the bench in the court. Brief is an adjective. It means a short duration. We spent a brief holiday in Spain. Or it can mean an outline or summary of a book, a document, or a case. So any outline or summary. For example, we wrote a brief and gave it to the judge. Defense. Defense is the action of defending from or resisting attack. I would fight in defense of my country. Or it can mean the counsel for the defendant in a lawsuit. People usually need defense when they have a case in the court. Let's take this word, note. Note here is a noun. It means either a banknote, for example, a 10-pound note, an official letter sent from the representative of one government to another, or a brief record of facts, topics, or thoughts written down as an aid to memory. Example, before going out, workers should leave a note. But as a verb, note would mean to notice or pay particular attention to something, or to record something in writing. For example, before going out, workers always note down remarks. Row, as a noun, means things or people that are arranged in a line, usually straight, or a line of seats in a theater or a cinema. For example, all the customers were waiting in a row. I prefer to sit in the front row. Both meanings here. Row as a verb means to propel a boat with oars, usually a boat. Example, the men took a boat and rowed to the harbor. The word spring as a verb means to move or jump suddenly or rapidly, or to originate or arise from. For example, most technological creative ideas spring from daily experience. But as a noun, spring is, do you see the little metal here? For cushioning and clockwork, or the season of the year. Example, all trees blossom in spring. That's why it is my favorite season. Claim. Claim is to state or assert that something is the case. Example, unless you get your full rights, you can claim in the court. Clog up. Clog up means to prevent things from being dealt with as quickly as usual. Example, small petty grievances can clog up the courts for months. Contend. It's to assert something as a position in an argument. The driver contends that the accident is not his fault. Grievance is an official statement of a complaint over something believed to be wrong or unfair. People raise many grievances and claims in the courts. In favor of is to the advantage of. For example, most people are in favor of planting more trees in our city. Intend is to plan or mean to do something. I intend to travel to Switzerland next summer. Litigation is the process of taking claims to a court law. For example, the driver started a litigation against the person who hit his car. A supporter is someone who agrees with a particular person, group, or plan. The party arranged a meeting for its supporters before the elections. Ultimately means finally. Ultimately, they decided to close the factory because of financial problems. Regardless is an adverb that means without being affected. Regardless of some shortcomings, the internet is of great importance. And the word sue means to make a legal claim against someone. The driver started to sue the man who hit his car. Now let's take one vocabulary practice. Take a look at the words, let's fill in the sentences. The decision was reached after, with parents and teachers. Consultation. Could you please precisely what you mean by crime? So we want meaning. Define. Helicopters are mainly used for military rather than civil use. Governments make laws and the police, what do? They enforce them. In this episode, we covered setbook questions and vocabulary items. Thank you for watching.